and I froze because kindness outran my entire product roadmap. Yeah, that happened. The park that morning smelled like cut grass and sunscreen. Swings squeaking in a rhythm you only notice when you're sitting in the quiet, pretending not to be broken. I'm Olivia Hayes, CEO at a medtech company, mother to Emily, and I was hiding behind my phone like it could shield me from the looks that say, "Poor thing, maybe next year." He showed up in that kind of sunlight that makes everything honest. Black single dad, mid-30s, hoodie washed to the color of old denim, pushing his boy on the tire's swing, laughing low and warm, the sound you feel in your ribs. When the swing slowed, he caught my eye, gave a small nod, then walked with his son toward Emily, who was locked onto her swing like it was the only stable thing left after the accident. Fingers white on the chains, lips pressed tight, breath small. He didn't talk at her. He lowered himself down, eye level, palms open, not touching, not crowding, and said, soft enough to make you lean in, "Hey there." He looked to me, asking permission without asking. Then back to my girl. "Mind if we say hello?" Silence stretched, not awkward, just waiting. Then Emily, who had refused 1,000 questions from 100 experts, set her small palm on his. You know what I mean? Everything in me jolted like the world tilted an inch back toward normal. "My son says that big slide is for the bravest kids," he told her. Let me back up a sec. 3 years earlier, we lost a voice in an instant. Metal, glass, the kind of silence that drops after sirens leave. And since then, I've collected devices like charms. Screens that talk, apps that prompt, bracelets that buzz. All of them clever. None of them a person kneeling low with steady breathing and an open hand. Jack walked beside Emily to the small slide that sits where the sun warms the plastic just right. Mason jogging ahead like a scout. And when my daughter returned pink-cheeked and almost smiling. The laugh that stitched my chest together didn't come from her. It came from me. "How did you do that?" I asked at the bench. "Sometimes kindness is the only language that works," he said. And for a second I felt stupid that it sounded like a cliché. Until I looked at my child and realized clichés survive because they're stubbornly true. "Coffee," I said, awkward, too fast. "There's a quiet spot on Oak Street." He glanced at Mason, jaw tightening the way people do when their lives have taught them to read rooms for danger. "Okay," he said. "Quiet sounds good." In the booth, he ordered black coffee, hands calloused, a faded hospital wristband peeking from his sleeve until he tugged it down. "You don't have to tell me anything," I said. Loud noises bend me out of shape. So I moved to the edge of town with Mason. Quieter there. I volunteer at the park. Kids mirror the safety they see. As if on cue, a plate crashed in the kitchen, sharp, metallic, and I flinched. Jack didn't bolt. He anchored, shoulders down, long exhale. Eyes steady on a harmless spot on the table. Then wordlessly showed Mason, who showed Emily. Inhale 4, hold 2, out 6. He modeled calm before he offered comfort. My daughter copied. Breath by breath, and the ripple passed. "You want to know a secret about helping kids?" He said softly. "You regulate you first." "I run a company that claims to design for connection," I told him. And I've never been more aware of how much of connection is human pacing and placement. When to crouch, when to wait, when to let a peer lead, when to shut up. "Come teach my team," I blurted. "Not charity, a job. Train us to build around safety, not force output." He rolled the coffee cup between his hands like he was testing the heat of a decision. "You don't owe me anything," he said. "I owe my daughter a world where someone like you is in the room," I answered. Next morning at the park, a balloon popped on the next lawn, dry cracks splitting the air, and Emily's shoulders shot to her ears. Jack was already low, palms open in the space between them. Voice slow as the tide. "Look at my hands, Em. 426. Mason exaggerated the breath with a grin, letting her borrow his rhythm. "You did great," Jack said when her jaw unclenched. He didn't cheer like a coach. He recognized like a witness. Empower, not perform. I didn't have those words yet, but my body understood. At headquarters, I skipped the glass fishbowls and took him to a small lab with soft light and fabric chairs. The team, engineers, a PM, a speech therapist, ringed the whiteboard with skepticism concealed as curiosity. "We need something repeatable, measurable," Ethan, the systems guy, said. Jack wrote 5 letters big enough to claim the room. RSAFE. Remove or reduce stimuli first. See before you speak. Ask open, allow no. Follow their pace. Empower small wins. He jotted observable signs: shoulders lower, gaze steadier, hands unclench, and practical metrics that didn't turn kids into quotas. Time to stability, instances of self-initiated communication. Hated the hospital smell. A staffer spritzed sanitizer without thinking. Jack dropped low too soon, cueing breath while the air was still burning her nose, and Mia bolted. He stopped talking, opened the door, turned on a fan, walked her to the hallway without touching, then said the sentence too many experts refused to say out loud. I got the order wrong. First, change the air. We added the R to the board in thicker ink. In the tablet feed, we watched her heart rate slope down as the fan hummed. Data, meet humility. You can't sell feelings, our CFO said in the next meeting. Pen tapping like a metronome. Where's the ROI? Participation is the oxygen of speech, I answered. Without it, every device is just a microphone for silence. Things anyone can do. Jack looked at me like he'd expected to be used, and I liked being underestimated for the right reason. We ran a 12-week pilot in 3 sites. Warm water at kid height, a box of smooth stones, a small slide exactly where the sunlight makes it friendly. The app we'd updated had a big stop that paused prompts and pulled up a 60-second self-anchor for adults. Plant feet, place hands, set eyes, name it, normalize it. Pick one small next step, because the fastest way to steady a child is to steady yourself. That morning wasn't a stage. One long breath. Do you want me closer or farther? A father cried in a tent where nobody clapped and learned that safe crying is not a failure. It's a repair. Yeah, that phrase sounds soft until you watch a kid come back into the room after their dad breathes without shame. Emily wrote a single line on a half sheet and read it in a whisper that didn't need a microphone. I'm Emily. I like the warm slide. And nobody made it a performance. Across the canopy, Victor, our CFO, watched a live chart show median recovery time at 2 minutes 31 seconds and activity completion after pause at 76%, and he nodded like a man realizing numbers can. In fact, spell dignity. I handed Jack a 2-year contract that afternoon, head of human safety and communication training, dedicated budget. Explicit clause banning the use of personal portraits for PR unless tied to method value. And he accepted with one condition: credit the families in every training. Done, I said. The one warmed by the sun. The birthday speaker went quiet. The trees threw long shadows across the grass, and Emily climbed the ladder with that exact pause that used to scare me. Then chose her way down. Upright, then on her back, then upright again before the sand. A chain of deliberate choices you only see if you've learned to slow your eyes. Mason smacked her palm. Soft high five, and Jack looked over with that small smile veterans sometimes wear when peace lands without fanfare. When I'm scared, I fall safe, Emily whispered to him. When I'm okay, I fly?